Hello there. I've got a joke for you. It goes like this. UK borders. But it's not funny, is it? A potentially dangerous individual has been welcomed into the UK by Border Force, and the government is like, so what? After decades of WEF-backing establishment uniparty governments, the UK no longer has a border. It has a well-worn welcome mat. And every week it just gets worse as our woke lefty politicians wring their hands in a sort of faux helplessness. While in private they strongly support the inflow and the slow dismantling of the UK, be in no doubt about that at all. In little over a week another 2,000 newcomers have arrived in their rubber boats. That's half the 4,000 that have already crossed the Channel so far this year, a number that is 20% higher than the same time last year. So much for smashing the gangs, eh? And among them, it is feared, there was one believed to be from the city of Khan Yunis in Gaza, a person with a serious anti-Semitism problem, who is thought to have arrived last Thursday among 235 other boat travellers who came over in 4 dinghies. Someone who has allegedly called for the eradication of the Jews has posed with weapons and called on his God to punish the Jews completely. Someone who, according to the Times, has documented his 18-month journey from Gaza through countries like Switzerland, Germany and France. A journey he embarked on prior to the October the 7th atrocities. Someone who the courts here will fall over themselves to ensure he stays in the UK, even if he goes home to Gaza for a holiday. And this character, Abu Wadi, videoed himself apparently being picked up in the Channel by Border Force, saying, "Thank God we arrived in Britain," reports the Daily Mail, which also said, the Home Office last night refused to say whether they were aware of Wadi's militant background or whether he was free to roam the streets. Kent Police said they were unaware of any arrests related to the case. And now it appears we have no idea where he is. He's been touring Europe spouting his anti-Semitic filth despite all those so-called hate laws we have in place. Shows you that the authorities across the Western world don't care what people like him think or say. They are only worried about what their internal dissenters to open borders think and say. And as I said, we now have reports that no one's been arrested and the Home Office refused to say whether or not they know about this danger to our society or whether they even know where he is. And it's not like this guy is shy and retiring about his anti-Semitic views. According to reports, he's plastered it all over his social media accounts. But we'll all be told by the woke lefties not to worry because he's a lone wolf or deranged or some other such nonsense. Or more likely, hope the story will just fade away. But the Mail quoted former Army intelligence officer Colonel Philip Ingram as saying, "He is a significant terror threat to the UK and is someone who should be arrested immediately. I would hope that security services are all over him. If he is here, there are likely to be more. This is one of the most worrying reports I have seen in a long time." No Sherlock. With the Home Office having already admitted ages ago that they'd lost touch with many thousands of these boat arrivals. You do have to wonder what these newcomers are up to, don't you? On flower arranging courses in the Cotswolds, no doubt. Or litter picking in Devon, maybe. Well, the woke left does tell us that everyone that walks onto the beaches of England suddenly becomes a paragon of virtue, don't they? And we'll probably find out soon that as a young lad, Wadi sang in a Gaza choir. The Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp, helpfully said, "What the Home Office needs to do is identify where this despicable individual is and, frankly, remove him from the country back to Palestine immediately." As if anything would have been any different under the Tory cheek of the same establishment uniparty derriere. Once here, we all know it's like trying to remove a limpet, while the ECHR, the Human Rights Act and the woke lawyers and judges are weaponised against us. And then there's the escalating costs to our economy and our society to factor in. Remember, the first official records of these dinghy arrivals was in 2018, 7 years ago. Since then, over 150,000 people have arrived illegally in the UK by that route alone, with absolutely no indication that anyone in any government has any intention of doing anything about it. But that number is still dwarfed by the 1.4 million that arrived legally over the years of 2022 and 2023 alone. And every time the population numbers surge up, we're told by government and the big corporations that we need even more of them to come because somehow we don't have enough people in this country. Weird, isn't it? Anyway, Chris Philp continued by saying, "He clearly has no place in the United Kingdom and potentially poses a threat to our fellow citizens. This just illustrates why it is so important to get control of our borders and to stop these boat crossings." Says the guy from a party that let this festering blister expand at will under their administration. And the Home Office said that the British public can be reassured that we take all steps necessary at all times to protect the nation's security. Which parts of the British public are they referring to here? And don't forget that pro-Palestine protester that somehow managed to sneak into the heavily guarded Westminster estate, then climb barefoot up the Elizabeth Tower that houses Big Ben, and then happily sit there for nearly a whole day while surrounding roads are sealed off to traffic. Had that been a shaven-headed, so-called far-right protester with a St George's flag and a Free Tommy banner, things would have been completely different, and we all know it. No wonder pro-Hamas types flock to the UK. We're sending out multiple messages from the top down that they are all definitely welcome, especially those that will help them in their unholy task of dismantling our democracy and heritage. But to have someone just breeze into the UK with the blessing of the establishment and the border force that was set up ostensibly to defend us from harm beggars belief. I dread to think what would happen if this openly anti-Semitic individual caused any harm in this country. Lots of lessons will be learned, etc., I think is what they'll tell us. When the lesson is already that we should turn the boats back. Finally, please like, subscribe and comment below and check out our other channel, Tripe and Whatnot. Link in the descriptions box below. And thank you for watching.